latitude 0, longitude 0. Speaking from the center of the world, Ghana. This is where we are. This is the center of Pan-Africanism, moving black people forward, uniting us on the same platform, telling the stories that concerns us. Boom! Zoh TV talking points. Do not change the dial. Stay tuned.
Boom, 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 boom. Zoh TV is alive. Zoh TV is alive. Zoh TV is back. Stay tuned. Do not change the dial. The frequency is Zoh TV. Authentic stories coming your way from Ghana, from the motherland. And as I told you, I want to bring out diasporans living in Ghana but doing things. Positive stuff. Sowing some seed into our people. Creating jobs. We have in the house today, if you are talking about what we call sustainability. Sustainability. Coming to Africa and you want to live here. You know, accommodation. Like how to survive. We have an expert in the house. He has done it all. And we're going to have a chat with him to see how he made it in Africa and what he's doing in Africa. So stay tuned. Do not change the dial. My man.
Thank you very much.
Welcome to the house of Zoh TV.
Thank you very much. It's a pleasure to be here. It really is.
Let's cheer to our,
absolutely.
Let's cheer to the crown again. Okay?
Absolutely. It's a
palm
beautiful
wine in the house. Okay?
It's a beautiful day in Ghana, West Africa, and we've got chilled palm wine. You cannot go wrong with that.
Yeah, man.
So it's a pleasure to be here. Thank you for inviting me on your show.
Thank you. Please introduce yourself to the audience.
Greetings, everybody. My name is Brandon Rogers, and I'm a designer and real estate developer based here in Ghana, West Africa. And my focus is sustainable development, rural development, and ultimately what we're striving to do is build communities in ways that we can all come together and do more together. And that's been my pursuit over the last 18 years in Ghana.
You've been living here for 18 years?
Absolutely.
Wow.
Absolutely.
So when I met you, I think I've known you for 8 years now.
Yep. It was about 2016, 2017 or thereabout, I believe.
Yeah.
Yep.
So you had been living here for almost like 10 years before me meeting you. Wow.
Yeah, absolutely. I moved to Ghana in 2006.
2006.
Yep. And I didn't know I was going to be moving to Ghana. It started off as a visit. And then life in Ghana and so many things took over.
Yeah.
And, for me personally, I was always searching, for where I felt at home.
Okay.
And so growing up in Florida, I grew up born and raised in Orlando, Florida, right next to Disney World.
Okay.
And had an amazing childhood. And it was that childhood that really gave me the emphasis of my life that you're really supposed to pursue your dreams.
Okay.
And I understand that that's even a privilege because so many people were trying to survive.
Yeah.
And so that's what really led me to always be searching. And so once I finished college, and it was really at university that I had become influenced about African culture, Ghanaian culture, Dogon architecture. That's really where my entrance was.
Who introduced you to that? Because
well, I mean, to be honest, it was in school. FAMU, I went to Florida A&M, which is a HBCU, and we were in architecture history, and I had a professor, the late Professor Dozier, and we did a project, and we were talking about the Dogon, and we were talking about all their ancient secrets and their architecture and all of this stuff, and I was just blown away. I've known that I've wanted to build homes since I was a little kid. That's where I realized, we had a math fair school project, and I built a model home, and I was hooked. From that day, I just knew that I wanted to build houses, and that really was my focus, was houses, because I wanted places where we live. I wanted to create the environment where we live. That's where we spend the majority of time, where we grow our families, And ultimately, now what I realized was that the home is a single model for a single family, but we've got to bring families together. If we're talking about nation building, we've got to really, really bring families together in a collective way to where we can do more and have a bigger collective impact.
Yeah.
And that is all in the community. I think here itself, the community is a lot more communal. than where we're coming from the West. It's very much an individualistic mindset. So coming in, seeing things, and striving for more, these were all the aspects of life here that really, really enticed me.
Yeah.
And for me, I'm going forward. I'm not going back.
Let's go back again.
So when I came on vacation, my friend was actually interning. And so when he would go to work, sometimes I would go with him. And so then being in that environment, going from my cubicle to another design studio,
Yes.
where we're focusing on local source materials. And again, at that time too, it was a very exciting time in Ghana. So the projects that they were doing, it was just too enticing. Again, for me, my purpose or my belief in life is that everybody's got to find their purpose.
Yes.
And once you find your purpose, it's your job to pursue that purpose.
Yeah.
You know.
So Joseph Osei Ado, Ghanaian, doing some stuff over here. So then Ghana became, you know, automatically your destination.
Yeah, the gateway. I mean, again, that too.
Yeah.
You know, Ghana is marketed as the gateway to Africa.
Yeah.
You know, if we look at Ghana's history, and so again, we, you know, the diaspora and African Americans and others who are looking to reconnect with our roots, we've been searching.
Yeah.
And naturally, we've gravitated and come here. And then once we're here, the welcoming, I mean, we all know how welcoming Ghana is.
Yeah.
The hospitality and everything on that aspect. And so that's why I think Ghana has been at the forefront of that throughout its history. My experience was very unique because my friend was here and we're into motorcycles and bikes.
Okay.
You know, I had sent, I think at the time it was like $600 for a motorcycle.
Okay.
So when I got off the plane, we went to Abelimpe where we were staying and we put our luggage down and we got on motorcycles.
Oh.
And so now my access, like how I could move around, it was just so different. So how I saw Ghana on the ground, I've lived my entire life in America, born and raised. It's all I've known in Florida. You know what I mean? I traveled a little bit to maybe New York, Oregon, and I went to Puerto Rico once in the Bahamas, but outside of that, there's such a big world.
Yeah.
And so I wanted to really, you know, I wanted to find myself and see what was out there for me. And the thing about Ghana, and it's for us, you have to realize our perspective.
Okay.
You know, we come back and the number one thing for me was everywhere you look around, it's majority black and brown faces.
Yes.
Everywhere. So again, if you have any insecurities or anything, you're worried about this, you're worried, like, listen, it's going to be a black or brown person who's going to save your life, who's going to this, who's going to that. It's everything.
Yeah.
And so there's a comfort. Like, there's a weight that we carry on how we have to move in America, you know, in certain environments. And so when that weight is lifted off, I always kind of use the analogy, it's like no gravity. So now you're kind of floating in this new, like this is not normal.
This is not normal.
This is not normal where
your new normal.
Yeah, there's no glass ceiling, like, no, you can't do that.
Yeah.
And me being into architecture and looking at Ghana, and again, my focus is rural development. So I'm looking at, I love it, where there's mountains and it's green and it's lush, like that's how God made it. And so now, if I did the job well, you'll see it in my work. If I didn't, it's still just bush. And so we would ride these bikes and go on motorcycle journeys outside. Let me even put a quick little disclaimer in there. Again, my path is I'm not recommending my path or my journey. My way is not the way to do it. You can learn from my story, and then ultimately, because I've been here so long, I've seen so many other people do it. I've assisted them with it. I've built homes for them, and so I've been a part of the process, and I understand now, you know, some of the pitfalls that you will face, and so I can help you navigate that. But again, don't, you know, this is one of the challenges that we have. We come here and we have on rose-colored glasses. We see things in a certain way. So the number one thing, just on that, plan. Have a plan, ask questions, do your research, come and visit, touch and feel, go back, plan more, and then, but don't just know, you know, it's not advisable. Of course you can survive, of course you can thrive, but if you have time, plan.